guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're a new subscriber, thanks so much for joining my community here on YouTube. My name is Ashley and I am a homeschooling mom to 4 kids, and I share a lot about our homeschooling journey here on YouTube. Today's video is going to be a video based off of a question I was getting asked a ton, and I never really thought like, oh, I need to explain that or make a video on it, but I got asked this question so many times that I figured I definitely needed to make an explanation type video. So that is what this is going to be on. The question is, how do you use the Good and the Beautiful curriculum to teach your children family style, meaning you've got middle schoolers and kindergartners? How does that actually work? And so today I'm going to explain that to you guys to hopefully help answer the very commonly asked question I've been receiving. Okay, so the first thing I want you to know, if you're brand new to my channel, you may be wondering what I'm even talking about. I am talking about our homeschooling curriculum that we have chosen to use for our upcoming homeschool year 2018 and 2019. For that school year, I will be homeschooling 4 kids ages 11, 10, they're all having birthdays, 8 and 6. So I will have a first grader, I say grades loosely, first grader, 3rd grader, 5th grader, and 6th grader. And the biggest reason why I went with the Good and the Beautiful for our homeschooling curriculum this year is because I can teach all of my kids at the same time. But of course, only certain things. Each of my kids will have their grade level and just their skill level appropriate language arts, reading, and math. So those subjects I will not be teaching family style. Each of my kids will be learning at the level they're at for those things. The subjects that I will be utilizing the Good and the Beautiful for that will be taught family style will be history, science, and typing. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about typing in this video because obviously, regardless of what grade you're in or your level on the computer, you can type the same words as someone who's younger than you. So that's kind of self-explanatory. So what I'm really going to go into in this video is the history and the science. And if you're not following me over on Instagram, you definitely want to do that. It's linked down below because there's a highlighted Instagram story where I show a sample, just one sample of how I make a lesson. It was actually our science lesson, a human body lesson work for my daughter who's currently in 5th grade, all the way down to my daughter who is in kindergarten. So I show that there. This is going to be more of an explanation video versus like showing you work samples. So on the note of science, I pulled out our human body science. This is the human body from the Good and the Beautiful Part 1, and right on the front you can say it's a unit study for grades K through 6. So basically what you do when you teach and you're teaching multiple ages, or let me rephrase that, what I do is I grab all my kiddos, we sit all together down. I go through the lesson just following it as it says to do. Read the children, show the vocabulary cards, make this model of whatever body part it was representing. And then it just goes on to show more things that we're doing. And then we have these cool cards that I would explain and discuss with my kids. Now all my kids are there. They're all listening. They're all getting the same information. But when you're in kindergarten, your retention and understanding of things are going to be a little smaller than, of course, a 5th grader. So when I'm explaining things, I'm explaining it as it is, but what my younger ones grab is what they grab, and what my older ones grab is what they grab. And what I'm finding with this curriculum is that my younger ones are just learning the names of the organs in their bodies, and that's pretty fascinating and exciting. And my older ones are really understanding and really grasping the function of each of those organs, what they actually do, where are they located in the body, what are they made up of. They just go deeper, and they retain that deeper level of information, even though I'm saying the exact same things. So that is kind of an important thing to remember when you're teaching family style. Even if you're talking about something that is complicated, you can restate the information to your children in a simpler, more basic level of understanding for your younger ones, and then really elaborate with the older ones. Now, once we've done the lesson, we've done the experiment, we've done all those things, there are these, what are these called? The student sheets, student explorer sheets, student science sheets, something like that. Don't quote my vocabulary, it's all blending together. But there are these. So I make a photocopy in my own house, of course, for each of my kids. Now, every time so this was the urinary system. So the organs displayed in the body are the organs you just discussed. So for my older kids, I would assign them, I want you to color the kidneys blue. I want you to color the ureter green, specific things that cause them to have to understand where things are located. For my daughter, who's in kindergarten, let's say, I would just have her color this and remind her, look, those things are inside your body, and she feels a part of the lesson. She's also learning about her body, which is science, but again, there's that differentiation. And then for her, with this note section, I would ask her, what did you learn today? And I would have her either tell me verbally, and I would write it down for her, or I would help her write a sentence down. My older ones, they're explaining here in their own words, restating exactly the process of whatever the urinary system is. And I'm reading it and making sure that they've got it, and we're correcting and maybe adding a little bit. And so that is how the science works for teaching family style. Now, there are also, I need to find one. There are also in here lesson extensions. That's what they're called. And they are recommended for grades 7 and 8. However, I have used some of the lesson extensions for my 5th grade and 4th grade kiddos. And usually what it is them conducting some type of research on the system that they were learning about, and explaining or typing basically a small report explaining, different scientific systems, or what this one was doing versus that one. So again, just digging deeper into that information. So that is how science works for teaching family style. Now, going into history. Now, I've used science, so I can speak on that from experience. Science or history, I have not yet used with my kids. But my intention and what I believe to be true will be the same thing. I will read the history right out of here. I didn't bring up the storybook. I will use the storybook that goes with it. I will teach exactly what's in here to all my kiddos at one time. And the understanding will be different based on what their mind is capable of. So the other thing to know about the history is that when you purchase it, you get student explorer sheets. And in that curriculum, you get a password access where you download the sheets and you print them out. So I have here, I haven't bound them or done anything with them. I will be doing that for the new school year, but I've printed them out and looked over them. So this is History Year 1, grades 1 through 3. So if you're in kindergarten, it's up to you as a parent what you want to do with that. And then we've got grades 4 through 6 right here. So basically, this is the difference. So you read the information just like this. So right here, have the children work on memorization. It says this would be lesson 2. Read to the children, you read this, you play an audio recording, then you ask the children the following questions. So this is where your discussion comes in. And again, for younger students, it's going to be basic. For older students, it's going to be more in depth, and they're going to demonstrate their level of understanding on what you're talking about. And you can draw, connect the dots and really just dig dig in there. We spend a lot of time discussing, and I think that that's a huge component to teaching older kids. And then there's a Unit 1 read aloud at the end of that. So the student explorers are not done in every lesson, but they are done. So like right here on lesson 4, it says have the children complete lesson 4 assignments in their student explorers. Grade 1 through 6 have a coloring page that they may complete during the read aloud, or they may create their own hieroglyphic alphabet. So a coloring sheet would probably be something that I would allow all of my kids to do, but I would want my older ones to go ahead and do that hieroglyphic alphabet. And I will quickly show you in here just a little bit of a difference here in the student explorers. So let me find the one that I want to reference for you guys, because the student explorers are really another piece that goes with your history curriculum. So this is grade 4 through 6. This is Paul Revere's Ride. It's a very famous poem, and they're supposed to read it confidently and with expression and optional memorization portions of it. Now, that's grade 4 through 6. So the younger ones color a picture of Paul Revere's Ride. So I feel like that is just an accurate difference, memorization, reading kind of wordy poetry, and a coloring sheet. Now, the Student Explorer for grade 1 through 3 is not just all coloring sheets, but that's just a good example. So that is how I plan to use the Good and the Beautiful, history and science to teach all of my kids at one time. I am so excited about that, you guys. It's really going to transform our homeschool this year. I've wanted to do that since I started, and I just wasn't able to find something that I felt like was sufficient and challenging, but also worked for the younger ones. So I'm so pleased to have found an option that I feel like is going to work really well. Now, before I go, I want to let you guys know that the other thing that I got asked so much was to film a flip through of all of the curriculum, showing you guys some of the inside. Now, I did that for you guys, and man, it took a long time to film a flip through of every single piece of curriculum I got, but I did it. So next week, don't get used to this, but there will be a video uploaded on this channel every single day for you guys. So please support my hard work by giving these videos a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe so you're notified. Make sure the bell is on, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching.